available on the all-new Kia Sportage and Kia Ceed range. Call us today to book your test drive on 074 91 345 67 or visit imotors.ie.
Highland Sport is brought to you by Michael Murphy Sports and Leisure, Letterkenny. Cross the finish line in style with trainers from michaelmurphysports.ie.
And you're very welcome back to Highland Radio Sunday Sport. An extremely busy day here in the sports desk. But our big Sunday interview, of course, I'm delighted to welcome into studio Ian Harkin from Finn Harps, the new Finn Harps Chairman, and Aidan Campbell, the Commercial Officer. Guys, thanks very much for joining us here on Highland Radio Sunday Sport. It's great to have you in. Looking forward to a brand new season. And no doubt, first of all, we'll touch on the new appointments. Ian, you're back in as chairman. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a huge honour. I suppose I've been following Harps since I was a kid, at very young age, going all around the country there with Harps. So it's great to be back on the board. It's my second term on the board. I was on it over 20 years ago. When I came straight out of college, I did a couple of years as assistant treasurer and treasurer, and I've been travelling abroad and doing other things, and I suppose I'm back now with I have a young family, so it's difficult finding time for it. But if you don't put your hand up, you'll never do it, I suppose. So,
and that's obviously been a driving factor for you as well. I suppose off air you were telling me about when you used to go to the matches for your dad, who was heavily involved as well, and that's something that you want to try and bring back to Finn Park as well, bringing families and getting them together at matches.
Yeah, I mean, that's where football, it's that emotional connection and through parents and passing it on to their kids. And I suppose it's our local club as well. Like Harps is the only team in the league that has Donegal written on their crest, and that means something to me anyway. I lived abroad for 15 years, and whenever you're speaking to people from different countries, it's Harps is Donegal and Donegal is Finn Harps. So yeah, it's a big thing for me. Yeah.
We're also joined in studio by Aidan Campbell. Passion, one thing that Ollie Horgan brings, and Aidan, you've been appointed the commercial manager this year, and it's an exciting time as well from your point of view as well. Back staying in the Premier League was massive for Finn Harps last year.
Oh, definitely. I suppose like any business, we're coming out of the lockdowns, and we're looking back and thinking, thank God to get through that okay, and just paying tribute to all our volunteers again. Absolutely amazing how the volunteers, the supporters backed the club through that difficult period. We people joining the 500 club, which is kind of a lifeblood for us. The men just kept doing the lotto. We changed a lot of our business online, like our shop. So we were delighted to get supporters back in at the end of the season, and it was a fantastic atmosphere against Longford. So we a lot of changes in the squad for this year, as everybody knows, but Ollie's been busy since the final whistle against Longford Town, working hard behind the scenes. So we've put a side together. I think we've got some exciting players coming in, so we're looking forward now to Friday the 18th against Strada, and looking to people to help us. We've got a campaign starting called Pack the Park, which we're hoping people will come out and really get out and get behind the team from the start. New players coming in, as I said, we're looking forward to seeing how they'll all knit together. I think everybody knows that any team managed by Ollie will give it 110%, and but the crowd just gives you that X factor. As Ian was saying, it was just tremendous to see so many young supporters enjoying themselves at the Longford match. So we've come out with a special season ticket now, which is just €5 for the whole season for any primary school child, so people can get that on finnharps.ie. So we're all set to go, and yeah, we're really relishing now the kick off on Friday the 18th.
Yeah, I suppose, and that's a huge incentive as well to get families in a fiver under 12s. It's good. It's great actually, great value for the full season. So Ian, in your point of view, looking at the overall strategy and the business model this year, we had a talk about that as well. It was something that I suppose, as Finn Harps, they are of course they are a full-time team necessarily, but maybe I suppose from a part-time point of view, it's more seen like that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key things that I want to do is build in that sustainable business model, and key to that is to move more towards, everybody having season tickets. Like when COVID came in, one of the great things about it from an administrative perspective is that everybody started buying their tickets online. Now that just means everything's banked, and it's, all of the administration side of that is done from, we are, as Aidan says, there's so many volunteers involved in it in the club, and if we can automate certain things and make people's jobs easier, and certainly getting that financial commitment at the beginning of the year allows us to budget it properly. We know how much we can spend on players. You're not dependent on what happens with the weather or what game is on TV that Friday night, or the performance on the field as well, I suppose. All of those factors make it for a very difficult job to budget, for the year. So yeah, if we can get more more fans to buy season tickets, for me it'd be the next big move.
And that gives you the strategy moving forward. That gives you the opportunity to create more revenue streams in that particular way, but also the big talking point is the stadium. People really want to know, Ian, where's that going and how's that developing for you? That's the it's the talk of the Northwest.
It's something we've been working on for a very long time, and so many different external factors has affected the building of the stadium, and most recently I suppose within the construction industry, inflationary costs have just spiraled. But we're looking at some redesigns, and we've now been given a grant by the government of 4 million, and we estimate that we'd need to raise another 2.5 million to do that. So with our partners in the FAI and the council, but actually it's more now down to the club. We need to start fundraising ourselves, and we need to start looking at really making moves this year and getting back out onto the getting back out and laying the pitch this year. That's one of the goals that I would have for this year now, is that we start doing some fundraising and get the pitch laid at the beginning, get all the fines in for the stands and get going.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And suppose, Aidan, from your point of view, having Ian beside you and keeping that commercial aspect right as well, because at the end of the day, it's having, creating atmosphere, having a good product to sell as well. But there is a huge aspect around Finn Park, community based as well.
It's huge community, and you walk around our ground and you go, oh, there's the guys from Donegal Town, there's the Inishowen Supporters Club, there's the Finn Valley, west of the county, and it really is county wide, and into West Tyrone as well. So it really has got that community feel about it, and for a club that doesn't really employ any full-time staff, it's extraordinary what has been achieved. I think this is going to be our 6th year out of 7 in the Premier Division. And when I look at the resources that other teams have, I think there's 7 or 8 of them, have huge backers in the division, and it's very difficult for us to compete against that. And so we do ask a lot of people, but the local businesses again are to the fore. The 500 club members and the guys who do our lotto, they really are the guardian angels of senior football in Donegal, and it's extraordinary that the club keeps competing at this level, because if you look at the history of League of Ireland, a lot of clubs have gone to the wall, and that's due just to extraordinary people. And myself and Ian will well know that the people who came before us were following their footsteps. Sean Quinn, who stood down as chairman this year, Derek Wilkinson, people like Seamus Gallagher, who's still around, Charlie McHugh, who a local legend on the lotto. So we've all these kind of legends off the pitch as well as on the pitch, and but myself and Ian, we grew up in the terraces, and we know what it's like to be a supporter, and we grew up with great players, and from Ian's a bit younger than me, so he mightn't remember Brendan Bradley, but Con McLaughlin, and we recently Kevin McHugh's now head of our academy, Tom Mohan, Paddy McGranahan, just great players. And the fans and the younger fans, they're always looking for new heroes. And when they invaded the pitch against Longford, I just didn't know that many kids existed in Donegal, never mind at Finn Park. And they were all up to the players, and they were really enjoying the live football experience. And that's what we're offering. We're saying to the public, football is not just about watching on television. It's about being part of something, being part of a club, being proud to be from the Northwest and Donegal, and getting behind your club. And the kids love it. So that's why we came up with this ticket, and we're hoping that people will back it. And we've got other things to look forward to. We're hoping to launch the new home jersey this week. And,
I was going to ask you about the home jersey. It's good to go then. In that case, we're looking forward to it.
Oh God, it's something. You go forward for the it's kind of like with social media now. It's like a jury for each club, and you release it. So what might look good to me, I don't go on my own judgment. I put it through a lot of younger eyes. But I think they'll enjoy it. We've got, as I said, it was hard work coming through the lockdowns, but we came out with new facilities, a new sponsor, and we launched the away jersey there just before Christmas, and a great response to it. And so the new home jersey will be launched this week.
And Ian, are you going to be getting the tight fit one as well?
No, I'll go for maybe one of the jackets or something.
I'll take that back. I'll do the same myself. Yeah. Also, just I suppose before I let you go, guys, and you just touched on the kids. It is about the kids and getting them there. But Harps have been doing phenomenal work around the schools and around the academy and everything. And Ian, and touching on that brings in a lot more different people and different dynamic into Finn Park.
It does, yeah. I mean, I had the privilege of being introduced to all of the new coaches there this week, actually, and they have forwards coaches, defence coaches, sprint coaches, they've video analysts, they've nutritionists, strength and conditioning. It is proper elite football. Like it's exactly what the top clubs in the UK have, and that's bringing in people from every single town and village right across Donegal into the Finn Harps brand. And if you go around the towns in Donegal, you see kids wearing the outfits. They are from the academies, but as Aidan says as well, our online shop is actually doing phenomenally well. So it's great. It's the first year that we've launched it, and we had huge sales just before Christmas. So I suppose it was a no-brainer, yeah. And it's great to get that younger generation involved in the club.
It's all looking very positive. And before we let you go, lads, Drogheda next week. It's all eyes on the prize there, no doubt. Ollie's brought in 10 new signings, suppose, and that's it's going to be important, because if you look from last year's side to this year's side, there is a lot of changes there.
Well, I've never seen a year where there's been such competition for senior players. And you look at the teams like Bows and St Pat's, who had phenomenal seasons, lost 9 or 10 of their squad, and had to be very busy in the transfer market. But once again, as I said, Ollie's been on planes, trains and automobiles, not just in this country, recruiting, looking at players, coaching, making sure that they're up to standard. So I think I think we can be cautiously optimistic about their game going forward. So we're looking forward to see them in action against Drogheda. Yeah, we're cautiously optimistic.
Well, hopefully we'll see a victory from there. Lads, thanks very much for joining us. Ian Harkin, the new Harps Chairman, and Aidan Campbell, the new Commercial Officer as well. Thanks very much for joining us here
Thank you,
on Highland Radio Sunday Sport.
Which is why